What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 4 on our project. Last day of building on this project. Today, it's all about the auto body. This is my section of expertise. We're gonna make this car look pretty. I mean, as close as anybody ever could. Stay tuned. Raptor Liner was kind enough to send us out 3 kits of tintable Raptor Liner for this vehicle, which is perfect. It's perfect for what we need. So the first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is run down to the store and buy pigment to tint our kits. All right, guys, we are back from getting pigment, and boy, was that a long trip, and we got it. And then we were wrapping up a couple last minute things before we wanted to start the paint prep. The main thing was bleeding the front brakes. And we have, I don't know if it's our fault or not, but the front braking system is nuked. We need to focus on working on that. The other thing is, Freddie and I were sitting down having dinner, and we were talking about the paint versus no paint. And I'm not 100% sold on even painting the car like we were going to. So we're gonna switch gears right now into bleeding the brakes and figuring out the braking system, getting that thing back alive, and then we can talk about paint and where we're gonna go with that. So jumping into the brakes, what we've been doing is a traditional brake bleeding method where you have the little jug of brake fluid, a hose coming off of your bleeder, and I would be inside the car pumping my foot, and the foot just goes straight to the floor right now. It's like we have no pressure at all. And then Freddie would relieve pressure over here, open up the bleeder valve, and not much would come out. So we kind of got stuck. We didn't really know what to do, and that's why we spent so much time on that. So we ran down to the hardware store and we bought a pneumatic brake bleeder. What this thing does is it connects to your air compressor over here, and then air flies through here, creating a Venturi effect on this hose right here, which will suck. So rather than us pumping the brakes on the car and trying to push fluid through, we're gonna actually try and suck it out of the bleeder valve right here. And then what we also have is right there, you can kind of see that little thing right there. That keeps the brake fluid reservoir completely topped off. So I'm gonna be monitoring that while Freddie is over here manning the pneumatic vacuumer. Petty's gonna try the pedal. Freddy's gonna try the pedal. Freddy's gonna try the pedal. All right. Hang on. Freddy's gonna try the pedal. 3, 2, 1. Give me his pedal.
Yeah.
To the floor.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've done a lot of bleeding on this system. I think we may have a somewhat brake solution, so I'm gonna give it a try. We're gonna get the brake bleeder on to see what happens. Dink. Okay, here we go. Start attempt number 17. Brake test. Here we go. We got brake pressure. We have brake pressure.
Let's just run what we brung.
Run what we brung. We got brake pressure. That is not going to the floor. We okay with calling that good? It's not on the floor. I'm happy about that.
Okay, fine.
So we fixed the brakes. They're a little bit squishy, but if you jab them, you get 100% braking power, and we get 100% rear braking power. So there's something going on between the ABS and the front and everything like that. So I just went ahead and put this warning message to whoever ends up in this car next. That way we'll have no confusion. Now, Freddie is working on his ingenious tire wetter system that is an awesome mod that you guys will see shortly, and I'm going to mod the interior a little bit to help set the tone. That, my friends, is what you call a cardilear. I had never ever seen one before, but you know, leave it to Florida to have one on the shelves. I figured I'm never gonna get to install one on another car, so bam, you got one in the drift car.
It's available nationwide.
It'll
not just here.
It'll do double duty. It will let us know that we're ballin' and impress Diddy, but also it'll let you know when you're about to roll over. If you see it at an angle like this or more, you're about to roll over, and when it hits here, you know you've crashed. So that's a pretty great mod. Next thing, let's talk about the exterior. So I did a lot of thinking about the exterior of this car, and honestly, I've just decided that I think the coolest way to have this car is just to leave it. Because we looked through paint schemes, and the initial D paint scheme was pretty cool, but I think leaving it kind of like a sleeper, like it's just a beat up looking SUV, but then guess what? When you look inside, it's got, you know, the gutted interior, the 2 purpose-built seats right there for drifting, the hydraulic e-brake, the welded differential, the dumped exhaust, all these other things that make it what it is, which you could call like a mildly purpose-built drift SUV, the lowered factor. All these things make it look cool. But now if we go off and paint it some wild, extravagant paint scheme to look like Initial D and everything like that, people will see it, they'll kind of expect one thing and other things. It'll kind of, I think it'll lose a little bit of its country charm. I think that's what it is. And I think that this car's got some pretty great patina, like what you can see over my shoulder. It's kind of classic Ford Explorer, orange peel paint job, like fading away. And I like that. So I got a can of clear. Let's lock in some of that patina. And the way that this car is going to look now is basically, it was born in 1999 and it will be locked in at 2018, and it's not going to get any older looking for the next owner, because I'm going to clear coat over the patina, so it's going to stay right where it is. Normally people do this with, you know, cars from the 70s, 60s, but I'm really feeling it from the 99s. We're bringing it up. Locking in patina is a pretty easy job. You're going to use a little bit of a patina lock-in spray. And you're gonna come up to the parts that you really like. You know, the rough and tumble areas. Locked in. This piece is real good. Just give it a light misting. Now all the rough edges, those will buff out. It'll all be clear. You won't even notice. This car.
Are you locking in that patina?
Locked in. We're gonna lock in the whole car. That's some good stuff right there. Roadkill would be so proud of us right now. You know what, that doesn't need locking in. Lock. Just go ahead and lock that in right there. Now the hood, I think it would be really cool if we just leave that for time to rust that over. It'll almost be like the carbon fiber hood effect. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Let's go to the back and see what we need to lock in the back. Lock it in. Locked in. Definitely lock that in. Lock that in. And that. And that. Consider that locked. Locked. And quick lock. Yeah, I'm gonna be working at Roadkill in no time. Go lock that in. Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful not to lock in this headlight, but get that locked in. Lock that in. And lock this in finally. You know what this handprint right here reminds me of is when we did a nice handprint on the G35. I think I'm gonna go ahead and lock one of those in right around here. All right, if any of you guys are wondering how we did the handprints on the G35 and how we're gonna lock one into the patina of this Dora, is you just take your hand and really heavily apply spray paint. And then give it a good imagination, like, oh God, I'm gonna die. And then peel it off, and there you go. I think that looks pretty good. Should we do one on the right too?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of looks like Wilson from Castaway. Just need to give it a little face.
Looks like it's missing a finger, but I have 5 of them somehow. I don't know, maybe we'll just leave the one. I like the one look. Okay, moving on. Well, I think the patina's locked in. Should we do some real work?
No. This is gonna be the most important part of this build by far. More.
Carry on.
All right, so we are gonna do something that nobody's ever done. At least nobody's ever done that I've seen on YouTube, which is probably not that much. So I'm gonna take these windshield sprayers that I got from my MR2 parts car, and instead of installing them on the windshield where they should be, I'm gonna install them in the rear wheel arches. So when I press the button, the windshield sprayers will spray water onto the wheels, and that will make things go very slidey. So I don't know if this is gonna work. This might just be a massive fail, but I think that this would be an interesting mod, and it's absolutely free, and that is the whole point of this build, because we don't have any money.
So for the record, this is definitely a Freddy idea, not my idea.
Oh,
I don't think that this is gonna change anything about what we're doing on the track, but it'll look cool having the only Explorer that can pee itself while it's parked. All right, give it a test.
All right, testing.
Oh yeah, it's spraying into the car. Okay, it works.
Where's it going?
It sprays into that crack and into that crack. It's on the actuating arm. It's right here.
Oh, okay. Wow, Ford really outdid themselves here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this line somewhere inside the car, and then I'm going to run that into a T, and then run that into each wheel arch. Just have to drill 2 holes and then put these through, these little guys right here, and hopefully they spray out as well as they should. So,
nice.
Yeah, let's do that.
While Freddie is working on getting his lines and teeing them off from side to side, I'm going to go ahead and work on removing the roof racks. I think the sleeker look will look good. While Freddie's working on his sprayers, I have installed a "Ain't Scared" sticker. All right, in case you guys want to do this at home, the how-to is you drill a hole, Dremel that hole out a little bit, go ahead and throw your sprayer facing down towards your tire, and then go ahead and hot glue all the way around it. You can't use the clip part of it because if you did that, it would just spray towards the front of the wheel well, which won't help anything. So we got that one, and then hot glued the line down over there, and this one over here. Now let's see how it works. All right, we're under here. We're looking at the tire. Freddie, give it a whirl. Hit that button.
You ready to engage drift mode?
Yes, drift mode engaged. Oh! Wait, do we have a jet kind of come out the side here? Do it again. Yeah, it's hitting the tire. It's all tire. Nice, nicely done. We gotta top that off before we hit the track.
Oh yeah.
It's working. We have the only Ford Explorer that can wet itself. I love it. Well, Freddie gingerly uninstalls that. B is for build way is definitely just cut that wire. We got an airbag problem. The fact that I finally ended up buying a car. Well, Freddie bought the car. I paid half. That has airbags, and it's the one that we're gonna go drifty in. So we don't want airbags because if airbags hit you in the helmet, it could be a bad day. So I've Googled, I've found some stuff. There's a restraint control module, and it looks like fuses 6 and 11 are the ones I need to pull. I'm gonna pull those out, and let's see if we can get that light to turn on. All right, I pulled them out. We got the check gauge thing. So I think our gauge cluster is actually probably a little bit broken, but I definitely pulled the right fuses to deactivate the airbags. So that's all good. That will not explode in our face if we do happen to hit something, very unfortunately. Oh yeah, Freddie, you're right. It does kind of make a face. All right, next chore we're gonna go ahead and do is spruce up this battery a little bit. Anytime you head to a track or you go drifting, you want battery tie downs, or in this case, it's a battery bolt down. And these terminals are junk, they're crap. As Freddie mentioned earlier, he cracked one of those. We need to replace those terminals. But first we're gonna go ahead and attach it down. So this is one of those ones that you can see right there. There's a lip on the battery that slid into the battery tray there. And then way over here, go ahead and point it out, Freddie.
Right there, that's where you see the battery bolt down. It's the same thing for most Fords of this era, and even newer Fords. So it just bolts right down to this little ledge on the battery instead of just going up across the top. So it's the same basic deal. You just tighten it down with an 8mm, and yeah, then the battery should not move around while we're doing drifty things.
Yep, it's gonna be stuck right there. And then we'll go ahead and do the terminals. All right, there we go. We got our upgraded terminals. It was a little sketchy there for a second, but we made everything reach. Found out that the previous owner of this bought the wrong battery with the terminals on the wrong side, so the posts should be over here, and that's why there is a little stretch, but we got it on there, and that's all solid. It has a little room to wiggle, but it definitely can't come out, and that's all that matters. You don't want this thing flying out of here. So next it's time to continue with the safety mods. We're gonna move our way into the inside and install our seats and seat belts. Seats are in. It's looking like a purpose-built drift car. We got the hydro e-brake right there, the nonsense on the dash, the stereo that's falling apart. It looks good. The cardilear, it's looking good. I am really, really proud of this. The amount of work that's gone in. We finally just crossed everything off of our to-do list. That was all of the last 4 days. That's a lot. Another late night. But that is it, guys. That's it. We had 4 days to build the car. We hit every single goal that we set out for ourselves. We added in some extra things. We had a couple hiccups along the way. I really want to thank Injuku Racing, who helped us out with that hydro e-brake yesterday. And Raptor Liner for sending out all that Raptor Liner, even though we couldn't use it. I have used it. I used it on the FJ, and if you're interested and you've seen this and you haven't seen my FJ stuff, look back on the FJ Cruiser playlist. I did Raptor Liner on that. I have Raptor Liner on that, and I absolutely love the product, and I love how how it was applied to my car and how it's stood the test of time. So thank you so much to them for sending it out, and thank you guys so much for watching. It's like I am having so much fun. These have been some insanely long days, so it's been kind of crazy, but it has been a lot of fun. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and I hope you enjoy. The next step is to get it out to that track. Fingers crossed nothing goes wrong getting it out to the track, and then we just are going to beat the hell out of it. And if it doesn't make it home, I'm okay with that. So, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like Bees for Build, you want to help out and support, head over to beesforbuild.com, scroll down to the shop, picking up any of the merch there. All the proceeds go directly towards supporting these builds. If you've enjoyed watching Tavares, check out the link to his channel down below. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're Bees for Build on both of those. Oh, and if you want to watch some other builds, some builds that go by a little bit faster, some faster paced builds that are already completed, head over to our sister channel, Built Not Bought. There's also a link in the description to that. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.